You've tuned in for the fight for third place, the Rose City Rollers Championship Weekend. I'm Magic Pony Power Hour. Joining me on the microphone this evening, the one, the only, the lovely, you love her melodious voice, Layla Smackdown.
Hey, hey, hey.
So nice to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here. This is exciting business.
I think so. Holy mackerel, you made that really loud. Does that mean? There we go. Well, I'm assuming if you're watching this at home, you pretty much know how this game is played. We'll do a little bit of Derby 101 for you as we go. Layla has a lot of experience with that, and right now we've got jammers on the track, Liquor and Split for your Breakneck Betties.
And she's facing off against Arena Rage for Guns N' Rollers.
Liquor and Split breaks out and takes lead jammer right away.
Breakneck Betty's blockers doing a phenomenal job of reabsorbing the opposing jammer to the back of the pack, really led by Jessica Chestnuts out there.
Liquor and Split off to a pretty quick start with an apex jump on her first scoring pass through the pack. Is currently running up the score.
She made that first 5 look real easy, so she figured why not another 5. Raina Rage is finally out on her initial pass. She will now have the opportunity to start scoring points, but Liquor and Split says, I don't think so.
So GNR coming out with a little bit of jitters. Looks like they're going to get their wheels under them as things progress, I imagine.
Well, I mean, we only just begun. It's exciting business
it's
out
a hot
there.
Night.
I mean, the way I see it, if you can start on the track with 5 skaters and exit the track with 5 skaters, you're still doing a decent job of kind of keeping your excitement range.
I'm sure that won't be the case for much longer.
Like I said, we've only just begun. So
on the line right now, that's Much Mayhem for your Breakneck Betties.
And she is facing off against Kato Kabam, looking for an answer on the inside, but getting shut down by Push Latush.
Right now, Indigo Hurls with the drag back, taking Keto Kabam way to the back of the pack. Keto working her way around the outside. Chestnuts in there to stop her, breaking free, and now she's on her way to the penalty box for a cut.
And just to get a little player clarification for you,
Please.
There is some confusion out there because Chevy Chevelle is wearing Indigo Hurls' jersey. However, that is the case of what's been going on this season so far. You know, these uniforms are custom, so it's probably just on back order. But that is Chevy Chevelle. If you are watching at home and you are a big fan of that newer member to the Breakneck Betties, we want to give some credit where credit is due.
I guarantee I'm going to make that mistake all night long.
And I have no problem correcting you all night long.
She said. Okay. That's Much Mayhem through for another 5 points.
I got to give some credit to GNR as far as damage control is concerned. They could have gotten a little sloppy with trying to peel away from their wall. Either way, when you're blocking someone like Much Mayhem, you kind of got to stay together.
And that gem is off. Ivana Thrasher in there with a last-second swing and a miss at Much Mayhem.
The triumphant return of Harajuku Girl. I am so happy to see her back, not only on 2 legs, but 8 wheels.
She's definitely one of my favorites.
I love her attitude.
Yeah.
I love everything that she has brought to GNR since she was drafted. She's just a real breath of fresh air, and I am sure that they are even more excited to have her back wearing pink and black.
And speaking of veterans, that is Northern Lights Out up for your Breakneck Betties.
Another delightful human being tiptoeing, almost cutting the track, but correcting herself at the last minute.
GNR really doing a good job of holding her down right now.
Wow, Liquor and Split trying to catch a little piece of Juvie Hall. Looks like Northern Lights Out did not really end up needing any offensive help. She found a hole on the outside all on her own.
Liquor and Split doing just enough. Right now, Liquor and Split using Vava Boom to slow down Harajuku Girl at the front end. And out she goes.
Juka Girl trying to catch the jet stream of Lights Out, and Liquor just catching her at the last second, dragging her all the way to the back of the pack.
Northern Lights Out through for another 5. Juvie Hall standing in the box, ready to join the track any second after serving her 30 seconds. Ripley holding the outside.
That was a great readjustment by Vava Boom. She was turning her attention to Ripley at the moment that Ripley was the immediate threat on her jammer, but then quickly saw Northern Lights Out come up the inside, dropped her while she could. We do, in fact, have a star pass. That is none other than Juvie Hall, formerly wearing the pivot cap and now receiving the star for Guns N' Rollers.
And the pressure was on. Northern Lights Out decided to call it off with a jammer loose at the back of the pack.
I've been very impressed by Juvie Hall's adaptability this season. This season, you've really seen a lot more attention being paid to the star pass. So if you normally play pivot and have that stripe on your helmet, you got to be ready to bail your jammer out at any moment. And she has definitely stepped up to the plate throughout this season for the Guns N' Rollers.
Speaking of bailing out your pivot, your jammer at any moment, OHSU Sports Medicine, immediate care for RCR athletes through the OHSU Sports Medicine hotline, 503-494-4000.
Speaking of hotline, coming in hot is Super Six Pack.
Everybody just falling away from in front of her.
Goodness. Scorching 5 points up on the board for the Breakneck Betties.
GNR is still down 2 to the penalty box right now.
Push Latouche really owning the positional blocking tonight. She's just ever so subtly swinging her hips, not compromising her position off of her wall, but really, really punishing those jammers out there.
Helmet cover pass right now to Ivana Thrasher from GNR. She's got that thing in her hand and trying to work her way through the pack right now. Breakneck Betty's pretty much laying into her chestnut saying no. And
yeah, Thrasher's face met a wall of chestnut. That might leave a mark. We've got 2 revolving cyclones of death.
Much mayhem on the now at the front, and Vava Boom finishing her off on accident. I'd
call it a happy accident.
It was a happy accident.
Take them where you can get them.
Hey, at least it was off. I do believe we're looking at a team timeout black right now. That makes this a Mike Check's Music Minute. But right now on the live stream, Layla's going to read an ad.
I'm totally going to read an ad. There's my ad. And since it's a GNR timeout, we're going to give a special shout out to CrossFit Bauhaus. They have been working with the Guns N' Rollers this season. That is CrossFit Bauhaus. Other gyms use machines. CrossFit Bauhaus builds them.
Dang.
Wow.
That's powerful. I would never go in there.
I'm intimidated. I mean, that's legit. We've seen a lot of strength training happening throughout the season. I think that all of the teams this season have been participating with different CrossFit training opportunities, and it really shows. The all-home teams have just been looking stronger than ever.
That's what makes Rose City the best city. And hey, we'd like to thank Bike Punk, locally owned, printed, eco-friendly stickers, signs, and designs. Visit bikepunk.com. On the line right now, we've got number 828.
That is Cuda Kabam facing off against Sweet Jane. I think that this is Sweet Jane's first time wearing the star cap for the Breakneck Betties this evening.
I do believe you're right.
I'm quite confident it won't be the last time, though. She is a really phenomenal jammer, coming up hard and fast, not only in the ranks of the Breakneck Betties, but for the Rose City Rollers as a whole.
Ripley on the inside, driving Keto Kabam to the middle of the pack, and right now she is trying to break free of that red wall. Mostly Ripley and AK-47 automatic weapon.
Northern Lights Out had done a really good job of cutting a lot of speed by the opposing jammer. However, she did get called to the penalty box on a multiplayer block.
Sweet Jane out, and she is your lead jammer.
She's not going to have a ton of time to get those points. Beautiful offensive hit by Automatic Weapon to let her get those points. Great point protection by Automatic Weapon as well, as she saw the opposing jammer coming up fast and furious. She knew she only had a little bit of time to not only get some points for her jammer put up, but also protect her own point in the process. Great job by her.
Joe's Burgers, 4 locations, awesome burgers, and official feeders of the RCR volunteers. That's Joe's.
Well, I mean, with all the working out that they've been doing lately, it's a good thing we've got great, hearty sponsors like Joe's. Who dis? Who dis?
I have no idea. On the line, it's Starter Ruckus for your Breakneck Betties.
Yet another up-and-comer for the Breakneck Betties. Oh, my goodness. Raina Rage speeding around that outside.
Shrugging off huge hits all the way through the pack. Push Latush. And then Liquor and Split.
You know, if not for that yet another subtle hip check by Push Latush, I don't think that their jammer would have been able to race around and get lead jammer in such a way. That was really, really beautiful teamwork.
Starter Ruckus with the beautiful come around the outside, turn around, just grab your point. Your last point, call it off.
And yet again, we have another first-time jammer to the line for the evening for the Breakneck Betties. That is none other than Filibuster, another up-and-coming star for the Breakneck Betties. She also has a fantastic derby name, I might add.
I do believe so.
She's facing off against Harajuku Girl again for Guns N' Rollers.
Do love her. And right now you've got Chestnuts, Liquor and Split, and Ripley running the back line on Harajuku Girl. That's going to be going nowhere for a little while until Juvie Hall drops in and can scrape somebody off of her.
I mean, that's like a brutal welcome back if I've ever heard one. Juvie doing a really great job of trying to position herself between who is the next immediate threat to her jammer.
Liquor and Split on her way to the penalty box. All of GNR actually doing a pretty nice job dropping in and trying to get Harajuku Girl free while they could, but
Filibuster doing a really great job throughout the season of developing her footwork and speed control. She always had speed on her side coming in, but earlier in the season, she had a little bit of trouble controlling that speed, especially when she's crashing into the back of a wall. But she has really gotten in control of her toe stops out there, and she is proving it by racking up points for her Breakneck Betties.
Right now, Juvie Hall and Harajuku Girl being taken to the very back of the pack. Ivana Thrasher back there as well, and they are all doing a great job trying to screen off the Betties.
Automatic weapon trying to build a teepee over that star. As we know, the only people that can touch the star once the cap has been dropped is that jammer. So the opposing teammates are going to do everything they can to keep her away from it.
Ivana got that star on after the pass, but was unable to grab any points.
And on the topic of amazing CrossFit sponsorships we have, the Breakneck Betties would like to thank CrossFit Excellence, helping the Betties continue breaking necks and dreams. And, you know, I mean, we're still early on in the game.
92-0.
If I was betting, I'm not a betting
Betties.
woman because I don't want to bet with my own money.
This game could go either way at any moment.
Always.
On the line, Keto Kabam once again up against one of the greatest jammers in the world right now.
And that is not a hyperbole. Let us not forget that Much Mayhem did win Most Valuable Player of the International Roller Derby Championships last year.
She is lightning in a bottle on the track.
It's wonderful seeing her great talents on display this evening, as this will be Much Mayhem's last game with the beloved Breakneck Betties tonight.
It appears to me someone's lost a toe stop on the track. Let's see if we can't figure out who it is. And it's just a race around the track. Right now it's a lot like, what's that, Roller Jam from the 1980s.
Ah, yes, I remember it well. I also remember the love and adoration I feel for our sponsors.
All right.
Namely Kind Bars. I went for a hike today, and the highlight of it was getting to eat a Kind Bar at the end of it. True story. I snacked like there was no tomorrow. It is a brand of all-natural whole nut and fruit bars made from ingredients you can see and pronounce. And they all delicious, so eat some Kind Bars.
Keto Kabam getting 2 points on the board for GNR at the very end of that jam. And they have come out swinging into this next jam with Raina Rage right now being reset to the back of the pack.
And it looks like we are back to 5-on-5 gameplay.
Oh, IV Cardi attack breaks out of the GNR line. And we've got another star pass right now going to Erin Ishii, who is down on the inside.
Erin Ishii, a rising star for the Guns N' Rollers. She has done, yet another member of the team has really developed through the season And I think as the seasons progress, you're going to see Erin Ishii becoming that much more of an important player for the Guns N' Rollers. She also can do it all. She can jam, she can block.
Breakneck Betties breaking up to the front of the pack, following Erin Ishii and dropping the wall on her once again. Super six-pack on the inside, forces the cut, and Erin Ishii off to the penalty box.
And on the topic of versatility, I'm noticing of the 4 blockers out there for the Breakneck Betties, 3 of them are semi-regular jammers. So you've got a lot of versatility, you've got a lot of adaptability, you've got a lot of blockers out there that can see the holes to make, whereas other blockers might not be able to.
And breaking through, taking all 5, IV Cardi attack.
Breakneck Betty's great success on the track is definitely forcing Guns N' Rollers coach to live up to his name of Made Him Mad.
Yeah. Super six-pack on the outside, doing a great job clobbering and just screening off everybody who might get in Jammer's way right now, working from the inside and clobbering Erin Ishii in the turn.
She did a great job of sort of playing periscope and kickstand, sort of a wall brace for the wall,
term.
if I may implement, the new style.
Yeah.
But then she did a great job of turning herself around really quickly and still becoming a very huge impact against the blocker. So versatility is the name of the game.
And we're looking at an official review. So we should have Mistress Mouth down on the floor in just a moment to tell us what's going on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Official timeout sponsor is none other than Porque No.
Oh, Porque, yes.
Couldn't agree more.
I
God, I
know.
love
2
that
locations
place.
on the Hawthorne and Mississippi. Great taqueria fare. Check it out today.
Just talking about this taco timeout is making me hungry.
And we're waiting for Mistress Mouth to find out what's going on down there. We should be... Well,
here's a great opportunity to say special thanks to Moreland Vision Source.
Oh, they're great.
They are great, and they've been helping the Betties focus on the game since 2001.
I get that reference.
I know. Sometimes you got to say them out loud to really drive it in, like Derby names, like the Whittier of Derby names.
Technically, you have to say them out loud because they pay us to.
Oh, right. Well, and it works both hands.
Buffalo Gap Eatery and Saloon, John's Landing's favorite eatery and saloon. And here comes Mistress Mouth.
So, Guns N' Rollers were asking for a cut track penalty to be called on the Betties jammer in that last jam. And the referees have conferred, and they are currently delivering the verdict. Once the coaches have been advised, I will relay the information on to all of you.
So, assuming anybody can hear us, who was asking for a cut
And
track?
the no call is going to stand, and the Guns N' Rollers do give up their official review for the
is
period.
asking for a cut track penalty.
To be called against the Betty's jammer. And you got to commend a coach for trying every trick you can. I mean,
sure. Why not?
Someone's line of vision might be better than someone else's, and
Start a ruckus back on the track. I can't tell what's going on. Everybody was so excited.
That's what it was.
I just want to run.
Chomping at the bit. You hear that whistle, you ready to go.
They're like baby cheetahs.
Not now, but right now.
I heard a whistle. Let's go.
Good to see those jammers laughing and having a good time out there. Well, for the time being, that was right before Ivana Thrasher crashed into a fierce wall of Betties.
Coming around, we've still got Ivana Thrasher working around the outside. Start a ruckus, not making much progress in the back, but right now about to prove me wrong. Vava Boom trying to hold her down on the outside, can't do it.
That was actually Whip It Good doing a great job of reabsorbing and holding Starter Ruckus back just long enough for Ivana Thrasher to make her way out of the pack. GNR doing what they can do to gain some control over the speed of that pack. Okay.
I'm waiting for her points.
I don't know if there were any.
He's just not going to show them to us.
He's so secretive.
Kill Nye, not sharing.
What are you hiding? Come on.
He's definitely not. All right. Number 828, Keto Kabam.
Up against Filibuster. That is a lot of experience out on the track for the Breakneck Betties. Ripley, Northern Lights Out, and much mayhem. However, Keto Kabam is out as lead jammer for the Guns N' Rollers.
And right now, Filibuster still hung up in the backfield, working with Vava Boom. Oh, finally breaks out. She's on her run.
Vava Boom yet again doing a great job of adjusting her attention quickly from the defense and then right back to offense again.
Keto turns around, sees Push Latush, Northern Lights Out, and Ripley up there ahead of her, knowing the pressure was on, decides to call it off. I'd call that a good call.
Now, I am no derby savant the way my fellow mouth on the mic, Ophelia Mellons, has at times, but I want to say that all the points put up on the board right now have been put up by Keto Kabam. I could be mistaken, but it's at least a good handful. So she is definitely showing her prowess on the track, wearing that star for the Guns N' Rollers tonight.
She is going bonkers. And Sweet Jane breaks out before we even had a chance to tell you who she was, jamming for your Breakneck Betties.
Well, she's here to teach us a thing or two about a thing or two. I will never underestimate her again.
Raina Rage out there jamming for your Guns N' Rollers.
Getting a little hit from Supa Six-Pack, but I think that Raina Rage actually sort of used that hit to bolster her momentum.
And that jam is off. Nightlife Lounge, RCR's favorite Clinton Street bar and the only place in town to get RCR tickets made on paper. That's Nightlife Lounge. Real tickets.
Like for a scrapbook of memories?
Yeah, that's where I put all of mine.
Oh my goodness.
Special Magic Pony scrapbook. There's a lot of glitter.
I would.
That's Northern Lights Out up for Guns N' Roll, up for Breakneck Betties.
Northern Lights Out playing just a wee bit of jammer defense against Harajuku Girl.
Harajuku, go ahead.
I was just going to say she was being handed off ably to a wall of hungry Betties.
Yeah, they pretty much caught her and dragged her out. Right now, she's trying to work her way back up.
Forcing a restart at the jammer line.
Van Helslinger trying to screen on the inside, but automatic weapon not having anything to do with it.
Northern Lights Out just teasing that wall of GNR blockers, faking a little bit to the inside, then using all of that sharp momentum to cut out and around, getting all their points.
Van Helslinger and Ivana Thrasher both trying to work the screens in there, trying to break the doors open, and every time they do, somebody slides off the other end and just breaks around and gives it back to Harajuku Girl, who is right now giving up that helmet cover. She has handed the star off to Ivana Thrasher, who's breaking out right now, passing up Liquor and Split. She's on her scoring pass.
I want to give a lot of credit to Automatic Weapon out there. She has done a great job.
She's all over the place.
She's all over this place, making an impact, but then the moment the impact is made, she is hustling right back to her wall and proving to be just as effective as just sort of like a faceless member of a red wall as she is a power hitter on her own. So good job out there, girl. You keep it up.
The Betties seemingly playing with faces on the backs of their helmets anyway. Ten on the track. It's full style derby. We've got Supa Six-Pack up for your Breakneck Betties, and once again Raina Rage for Guns N' Rollers.
Supa Six-Pack forcing her way through a wall of two. No problem. She is the lead jammer for the Breakneck Betties. She would probably not get tired of any of us saying that tonight.
Raina multiplayer block called on 122 IV Cardi Attack up front, and that set Raina Rage free.
Supa Six-Pack is going to be serving some time in the Pabst Blue Ribbon penalty box. She is being called out on a cut track. that might have been, from my perspective, it looked like her little sort of mohawk move on the inside line that she might have dragged one of her skates onto the inside of the track.
And Raina Rage going crazy in this power jam right now. Puts 5 more on the track, on the board, and there's another 5.
Oh.
And nope, it was not another 5. It was a great cut that she pulled.
She
thanks to Chestnuts.
I think that was actually Ripley's doing. Ripley caught a little piece of her, and whereas Raina tried to pirouette her way around the outside, one foot did touch down out of bounds, making it, in fact, a cut track. That means that she did advance her positioning compared to the person that dragged her out.
Ripley hefting Vava Boom to the inside, forcing cut. Vava Boom on her way to the penalty box.
Well, and that was good strategic planning by Ripley.
Excellent.
Especially since Vava Boom is proving to be one of the bigger threats of GNR blockers out there tonight. Talk about coming up this season.
Supa Sixpack just dropping huge bombs on Juvie Hall and Artemis Foulmouth. Breaks through, takes another 5.
That was some really impressive pickup speed by Raina Rage on that outside.
She is quick.
Shades of the future Ivana Thrasher,
Supa
definitely.
Sixpack drops pretty much the entire GNR line. Artemis Foulmouth, Juvie Hall worked over in that one.
We would like to give a special thank you to American Family Insurance, Kenneth Hart Agency. Your Derby dream is out there, and we'll protect it. Thanks, everyone. Okay, who do we got? Sweet Jane swiveling her way around Helslinger on the outside. She is your lead jammer for the Breakneck Betties.
And that's Keto Kabam out for your Guns and Rollers.
We are getting really speedy out there.
Yeah, they're on the run. You know, protect your points and all.
I hope they haven't forgot that we have an entire second half of this game coming up.
Oh, because we're almost done with this first half.
Already.
139-22, Breakneck Betties. For those of you watching at home, this live stream brought to you by Blaze Streaming Media. Juvie Hall on the line for your Guns and Rollers.
I like what I'm seeing by the Guns and Rollers here. They have had some success, especially later on this season with Juvie Hall. The last game the Guns and Rollers played leading up to this one, she received the star cap a couple times in the first half, and then the second half is when we really started to see Guns and Rollers utilize her as a primary jammer. It's nice to see them kind of switching it up a little bit earlier in the game for that.
Yeah, right now Juvie Hall being used for I'm not quite sure what you would call it.
Well, if it's up against Chestnuts, I'm going to say battering ram.
Yeah, pretty much. There she is,
Wow.
and around Juvie Hall finally not giving up, breaking out.
That was a fierce fight because if Chestnuts had her druthers, she would have recycled her all the way to the back of the pack. Filibuster, graceful,
Yeah,
as well as impactful.
and Juvie Hall good at taking a punch.
Well, I mean, like theoretically.
Yeah, sure.
Special thanks to Kelly's Olympian. That's a cool place to go downtown. I'm into it.
For those of you watching from North Carolina, that's Kelly's Olympia.
And next time you come to town, you should check the place out because it's good.
Scratcher, Scrappy, Scrapper, what's her name?
Scrappy.
Scrapper, Go Lucker, Scrappy Go. Anyway.
Shout out to Lindsay Gulia.
Right. And, the Betties on the way to the penalty box. That's number 122, Ivy Cardi Attack.
Guns and Rollers finding themselves in a rare yet a recurring, in these last couple minutes, power jam scenario.
With Honor Roll out there all by herself trying to push the line forward. Trying to get around Ripley. Finally makes it out.
I like what I'm seeing there. I think that she makes a lot of sense for receiving a star pass. She is
Yes.
a very strong, smart skater all on her own.
Push Latush just out there to make sure that once she was out of bounds, she was all the way out of bounds.
What a kind escort
Yeah.
Push Latush is.
She is that would be the top of my list of things to say about her. And she's through. She takes all 5.
A skater could get used to that.
IV Cardi attack through for 4.
Wow, that was a great job by GNR. That was an amazing adjustment to control the speed, to build a wall, and for the pivot, that is Aaron Ishii, to receive the star pass. That was really quick strategy adjustment, and I am into it.
IV Cardi attack trying to drop in. Push Latouche escorting her off the track. Aaron Ishii right back in.
Your mom galloping as far back as she possibly could. Ivy Cardi attack, tiptoeing her way around that outside. Helslinger had done a great job of trying to escort her out to the outside. But, you know, when you've got someone like Ivy Cardi attack that is so good on just 1 or 2 wheels, you really got to make sure, a la Push Latouche, that you see the people all the way out of bounds.
Hey, when quality counts, call Bridgetown Automotive. Support RCR while taking great care of your car. Bridgetown Automotive. And on the line,
Rain of Rage facing off against Starter Ruckus. I mentioned earlier how impressive Vava Boom's improvement has really been this season. She has really asserted herself as a vital member of the Guns N' Rollers. She's also been doing a great job of communicating to her teammates. Again, finding herself frequently in that sort of wall bracing position, which gives you the best eye to communicate to your team as to where they are. And it looks like Starter Ruckus is out as lead jammer for the Breakneck Betties, and it is a power jam.
Super 6-pack to the penalty box on a multiplayer. Artemis Foulmouth out on a cut, and GNR's jammer in the box. GNR up front, trying to stay there. Chestnut's waiting for the moment to attack and start scraping off skaters. Through goes Starter Ruckus. GNR getting it together, staying up at the front end.
We do have Rain of Rage just coming out of the penalty box. Coach Determinator for the Breakneck Betties doing a great job also of communicating to the members of his team that she was about to emerge from the pack. They are really checked in with him because I got to tell you, it is loud out there. For them to have realized that she was coming out was just great awareness by them.
Starter Ruckus either just completely avoiding or shrugging off some huge hits through the pack on that last pass.
Ain't no thing.
No. And that's Chestnuts to the penalty box. I heard another whistle. I bet somebody's going to be joining her soon. There she goes. That would be Super 6-pack on her way down.
That was a great job by Thrasher, just pushing that wall out as far as possible. It ended up working to her advantage because 2 members of the team blocking her both then just had to take their turns going to the penalty box.
2 minutes left in this half. GNR closing up the gap, 178-36. Breakneck Betties starting down 2 to the penalty box with Liquor and Split on the line.
And you know that can be challenging because you can't sit on 2 horses with one behind.
That's absolutely true.
Like my grandmother used to always say.
Keto Kabam back on the line up against Liquor and Split right now. Push Latouche out front. Northern Lights Out can't stop her.
Wow.
It's GNR's lead jammer.
Keto Kabam is strong. It's going to take more than just one player to have an impact on that speed.
Northern Lights Out dumping her into the outfield. Push Latouche dragging her to the back of the pack, and right now they're holding up a huge red wall on her.
Oh, Push Latouche is just playing a cat and mouse game.
She's like a ninja.
She
to
is.
just barely touch you and your whole body falls apart.
I mean, and if she wasn't such an overwhelmingly nice human being, I would say she's a bully. But that would just be a lie. She's just good at what she does. On the track. On the track. In the nicest, most legal kind of way.
Coach Mikey Wade out on the track right now, chumming it up and calling for a team timeout. Guns N' Rollers. Well, good time to read an ad or two.
I think.
I'm going to read McDonald Miller, Facility Solutions, proud sponsor of the Rose City Rollers. McDonald Miller.
And while we're at it, I will say special thanks to Hope Baraka, Realtor, helping Portlanders buy and sell their dream house. It's true. I know people that have bought their dream houses thanks to Hope.
She's really nice. How about Black Cat Plumbing, your local neighborhood plumbing company and a proud sponsor of RCR since 2009. That's Black Cat Plumbing.
Every time I hear that, well, what I hear in my head is it being said to the tune of Cat Scratch Fever.
I can't do that,
like
actually. It'd be
The
like karaoke.
And we're not trying to lose listeners. We're
Black
trying
Cat
to gain.
Plumbing.
We'll save it for an after party someday. An after party.
I should have drunk that whole bottle of cough syrup out in the parking lot. All right. On the line, hey, you've got Juvie Hall up for Guns N' Rollers.
Nice.
He said with a smile.
And is that
Yes, it is.
Pocket size Much Mayhem out there wearing the star for her Breakneck Betties.
She's intimidating without even trying. And
She hasn't even opened her mouth.
all of GNR diamond up in front of her.
Wow.
Much Mayhem just tearing it apart right now.
Great job by Guns N' Rollers of just really working together to hold back Much Mayhem.
Juvie Hall on her way to the penalty box for a cut.
Well, that's a bummer for her.
It's a bummer for all of us. And actually, Guns N' Rollers filling up the penalty box to beyond full. Henri O'Hooligan waved back onto the track.
It is not the time for a coffee clutch. And I am reminded when it comes to the penalty box that a frequent guest is a pest.
Oy vey. And off goes Henri O'Hooligan to the penalty box to take her 30 seconds, switching out with someone else. From way over here, I can't tell. Juvie Hall not wanting to cut to get back out on the track, and she rejoins the game. Is immediately escorted off the track by Chevy Chevelle.
Mike Wade not thrilled with that call either.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
What are you going to do? And Much Mayhem powering her way through the track with Artemis Foulmouth to get around. She takes all 5.
That was some good one-on-one by Artemis out there.
Actually, I would just give up.
Right?
I'd be in a puddle.
Curl up into a little ball.
Go. You just go.
Try to be as small an obstacle for Much Mayhem to surmount.
Might as well just give her a whip. Here, go. Juvie Hall back in the track, trying to grab some points and can't get past. Automatic weapon. Kilnai confirming it was a 0, and we're into halftime. Period 2, Guns N' Rollers versus Breakneck Betties. This is the race for 3rd place in the Rose City Rollers Championships Season 2015. Right now we've got Sweet Jane on the track for the Breakneck Betties.
And she is facing off against Keto Kabam for the Guns N' Rollers.
Sweet Jane breaks out. She is her lead jammer, while Keto Kabam spends her time just beating the pack.
We did see a little bit of a momentum shift coming out of that first half with Guns N' Rollers having some success with power jams. Unfortunately, looks like the tables have turned coming into this first jam in the second half.
Keto Kabam to the penalty box.
Sweet Jane finds herself in a power jam scenario. Jessica Chestnut's doing a great job of controlling that speed by doing a little old-fashioned goading of Juvie Hall.
GNR having a tough time staying together at the front of the pack, and right now just being manhandled by IV Cardi Attack.
Chestnut's turning her attention now to On a Roll, giving her a little bit of the goat herding strategy. Basically what that means is when a team is trying to control the speed, if they absorb an opposing blocker behind them, they then become the majority portion of the pack.
You are correct. What's the advantage to being the majority portion of the pack?
Well, everybody else has to follow in line to what the pack is doing. You don't want to find yourself out of play, because then not only are you not any good to the other members of your team on the track, you can potentially find yourself in the penalty box.
Ladies and gentlemen, Layla Smackdown.
Go
And
on now.
Keto Kabam just being beaten down in the back of the pack. Hands off the cover to Juvie Hall, Star Pass, Guns N' Rollers.
Juvie Hall has a lot of deceptive speed on her side.
Yeah, she has a good pickup speed.
She does, because, I mean, she doesn't really, like, the actual mechanics of her body when she's skating don't look like she's exerting a ton of energy,
Comes
but
from
she
experience.
finds her way around the track super, super fast, which I think a lot of times works to her advantage because the other team will underestimate that speed. Who dis?
That is number 21 for your Guns N' Rollers.
That's Raina Rage. Going,
That would be-
ooh, 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 ooh.
Holy
Getting
mackerel.
the Watford from Starter Ruckus.
She's starting something.
Hi-oh.
And Raina Rage out on the outside, having a rough start to this jam. And now having to face off against Much Mayhem Ripley, automatic weapon.
Wow, Starter Ruckus really, again, establishing herself as a major player for the future of the Breakneck Betties.
Out you go. And a huge push. Could not put her off the track.
That was on a roll, though. I think that she was seeing that down from the moment she emerged from the penalty box. She saw what Starter Ruckus did to her own jammer. She got hungry to hurt her for it, but unfortunately it backfired. She's going to serve a penalty for that dirty hit. Not to insinuate her intention was ill. Sometimes it just works out that
I believe it was more illin.
like a villain.
She be illin. Speaking of illin, number 828, Keto Kabam.
Big smiles from Filibuster out there.
She be chillin'. I can't go much further.
I don't know where we're going to keep going.
It's tricky.
It's going to devolve even faster than we would have imagined.
Tricky, 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 tricky.
There we go. Okay, we have a 3-on-3 little twisters of death by both teams.
Keto Kabam pushing everybody forward, and now Breakneck Betties have cycled up with her to the front of the pack.
That is a very powerful wall of Guns N' Roses. Juvie Hall, Artemis Fellmouth, and Howard Juka Girl have done a great job not letting Filibuster gain any foot speed.
And everybody from Breakneck Betties going to the back of the pack. Keto Kabam up against Liquor and Split. Oh,
Wow. And
Chevy Chevelle, and now being taken back with Liquor and Split.
it looked to me like there was an attempt at a cap pass happening, but it was intercepted.
Juvie, given everything she cannot slow down.
You know, this jam started with both teams kind of mirroring each other. There were a lot of similarities, but I think that where the Betties had more success than the Guns N' Rollers was that they never got tempted to peel away from that wall. Therefore, they couldn't really incur any penalties. They all stayed on the track together. It was GNR that sort of saw a negative waterfall onto the box.
Juvie Hall with the star pass once again has picked up the jammer's cap. Could not get around in time to pick up any points. That's a bunch of passes to Juvie Hall this evening.
Well, you know what? She's doing a great job receiving them, so she should keep up the great work.
And a bunch is a technical term in the world of roller derby.
Very technical here in roller derby. We would like to give a special thanks to Timothy Murray Photography. Visit timothymurrayphotography.com for classic black and white film derby images.
You know what that guy can do?
What can't he do is
He
a
can
better
rock
question.
a rhyme. That guy, right on time.
He's been working on his game. His
It's
life
tricky.
is taxing.
And there goes, I'm going to say it's Ivana Thrasher. Am I wrong?
No, I'm going to give you kudos because it is.
She's
it
like
was.
a lightning bolt around the track right now up against Chestnuts. Now breaking out past Chestnuts.
Wow.
Grabbing some points, all 5 for Ivana Thrasher.
No easy feat. She sped her way around Chestnut. She could not even catch a little piece of her. And let's do
Ivana
it again.
threw again.
How about 5 more for good measure? You know
Well,
what?
now, Vava Boom dropped in, busted up things just enough that they couldn't quite keep track of her
Again,
as she hits the line.
Vava Boom is just doing such a great job of adjusting her playing. Look at her.
Sweep the entire line off from the out to
Beautiful.
the in.
And cleanly and legally.
Yeah.
And that's so important.
And right there, Andrea Hooligan just being in the way enough to scrape off Chestnuts gets her through one more time.
Good thinking by Ivana Thrasher, picking up those points while she can.
That was great.
Doing some damage control. I have been, always will be, a huge fan of Ivana Thrasher. She is just cool as a cucumber on the track. She is a lovely human being off the track. And according to the social medias, I am under the impression that this will be her last game with the Guns N' Rollers this evening. A serious loss for that team and for all of us that have enjoyed watching her for all of these years.
That would be a bummer if it was true.
I mean, some people are really bad at retirement. So I'm not a betting woman, and I don't hold my breath.
Well, to
clearly.
the best, I'm under the impression there are more than just her leaving us this season.
Yeah, that's true.
And, some of those people have probably retired once or twice in the past.
There are worse things to be very bad at.
Yeah, that's true.
And I hate to be the one to break the news to people, but when you retire, there's no gold watch.
No, there's a stainless steel hip replacement. Carpe Diem.
Tear your ACL twice, get the third surgery free.
And some nice gold-plated replacement knee.
Taking
and
the
that's
star.
filibuster.
Oh my goodness, and that was fast.
We're spending too much time having fun at our own. And that's Keto Kabam on her way to the penalty box. The box is full for GNR right now.
That was a beautiful hit by Ivana Thrasher, forcing filibuster out. It looks like
Your mom's favorite to the box. And filibuster to the box.
that's correct.
We'll have the seat switch, my favorite.
Wow, that was just a full-on Guns N' Rollers evacuation from the penalty box. They are all hitting the track at the same time together.
Nice burn up. Well, and they've got some good people on the track to get their jammer through right now. So, Chestnuts and Six Pack up front. Dang, you can knock her down and she jumps right back in it. Chestnuts on her way to the penalty box. Only Supa Six Pack to get by. She has to let her go.
Supa Six Pack had some great awareness right there, knowing exactly how far she could be forced out before she herself would get a out-of-play penalty.
Supa having a Supa game this evening.
Both as a blocker and a jammer. Another one, I have to say, I mean, she's no stranger to the game. That is apparent.
Counts.
Not only experience, though, but this season I've seen such a calm come over her. You know, even the times that she is sent to the penalty box, she checks in with the referee and just gives a kind of like nod of acknowledgement. There's no sassiness. There's no sauciness. She just hustles her booty to the box.
I seen a bit of sass this evening.
Well,
I'll give that to you. I mean,
you know,
it's hard not to live. But right now,
no.
look who's got the helmet cover. That would be Supa Six Pack having it passed off.
Wow. Chestnut's doing a great job just hand grenading it through a wall to try and make a little hole for Six Pack. It did prove to work.
Ivana Thrasher taking the helmet cover. And this one will go the entire 2 minutes, which was only that last 1 second.
You know, I felt every second of that 2 minutes.
I was so excited. Oh, man, this is going to be great. Oh, it's over.
Well, you know, we've got 19 minutes and 42 seconds still on the clock.
10 skaters on the track. The score is only 272 to 62.
You know what I've also liked to see a lot tonight and this season as a whole?
My smiling face.
Aside from that, obviously, and the hanger being so clean and sparkling this evening, is the fact that you don't see as much jockeying for position at the start of a jam. each team is so confident and has such a deep bag of tricks when it comes to strategy. You don't see the fighting for the scrum start.
Right.
You don't see the weird and goofy manipulations at the pivot line like you used to in Denver. It's really nice just to see people saying, we can stand wherever we want. We know what to do in any scenario. And that is Sweet Jane out as your lead jammer for the Breakneck Betties.
And there goes Automatic Weapon to the penalty box. Chevy Chevelle up front just going nuts, manhandling everybody out of the way. Chevy Chevelle holding down Harajuku Girl, now teaming up with Lights Out, Northern Lights Out, and Push the Tush. Chevy on the inside. Northern Lights Out can't quite catch her.
Juka Girl did a great job of bridging for her
Distracting,
team when she needed to, and then turning her attention quickly back to play some O for her team as well.
Holy mackerel.
Okay.
Looks like it was just a bit of a tumble.
Yeah, and that on that last hit, we did see Vava Boom doing a little after whistle hit. She's going to serve at least 30 seconds to a penalty. She did not. She was very aware that maybe she was a little excited to engage in that hit. Maybe, a second too late.
A little bit.
Lesson learned.
A little bit.
We get a little bit more mixing it up on the line, jammer against jammer. Start a ruckus, not afraid to give the what-for to whoever's standing next to her.
Yeah.
In this case, it was Juvie Hall wearing the
Juvie
star.
Hall back on the track. Start a ruckus through and on her way to the penalty box.
Okay.
Juvie Hall still wearing that helmet cover. Taking a beating from Ripley. Much mayhem. And the rest at the front end.
The rest just happens to be Liquor and Split, as well as
Who's the other one?
someone else really good
Somebody standing in the way.
wearing red.
Ivy Cardi attack. She couldn't quite stop her. Oh, there it is. Good. I was paying attention in school that day. And Juvie Hall back up against the line now. She would love to be grabbing some points right now for the Guns N' Rollers.
GNR blockers did a great job of keeping that speed slow for Juvie Hall to make her way around, exerting as little energy as possible, pushing the speed up to the wall to create a little bit of space for Juvie to work, but then try to turn their attention back to catch Start a Ruckus.
Yeah, Breakneck Betty's doing a great job on the power jam kill.
Absolutely. You wonder to yourself how much damage could actually be done with only 30 seconds. We did see that rule change going to play this season.
Yeah, it was really great.
But the answer apparently is still a lot of damage.
Oh.
So stop the bleeding where and when you can. And we would like to give a lot of thanks to Shebop.
Yeah.
You haven't heard of Shebop because it's a female-friendly sex toy boutique in Portland, Oregon. You should check it out. It's fantastic. And if you are listening from afar, thank you for listening from afar. Check out our lovely sponsors when you're in town.
I'm sure they have a website, too.
I'm sure they do. You should take advantage of it. And again, if you are watching and listening from home, you are doing so thanks to Blaze Streaming Media. The live broadcast of tonight's bout is brought to you by none other than Blaze Streaming Media.
We're in. Oh, now we're right back at it. And now we're in a timeout. Oh, there was one too many people on the track there.
I know what was happening, and it looks like she's getting a little talking
Like
to.
a coach get a talking to.
No,
It wasn't a coach. That was just some person.
No, I'm going to tell you who it
What's
was.
that?
Because if she wanted to come out and give me advice, I would listen.
Oh, of course.
That was Juke Nukem.
Oh, it was? I
I
wouldn't recognize her without a helmet.
I know, that's the thing. And the most times that I'm used to recognizing for her would be caught on her behind going, oh, why are you so good? Juke Nukem, a really phenomenal, internationally renowned skater. We were so fortunate to have her move to Portland finally this year. The Guns N' Rollers were so proud to have drafted her. She made such an impact on their team, did a great job setting a great example for some of their newer skaters. Unfortunately, saw a very huge injury take her out of the game this season. I'm not sure what her fate is as far as her healing and recovery. I certainly do hope for everybody's sake, especially her own, that she is recovering quickly and fast and that she can come back to skates.
Me too. And the official chiropractor of the RCR since the very beginning, that would be Bridgetown Chiropractic. You guys should all contact them.
You know, I think they have 3 locations now.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's convenient.
There's that many Derby girls in town. And Pabst Blue Ribbon, everybody knows, the sponsor of our penalty box and tons of other stuff around here. Everyone loves the Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Okay, now it's just turning into a dance party.
Dance party sponsored by Sock It To Me. Be awesome, wear awesome at sockittome.com. And hey, how about X-Ray FM?
Oh, I love that station.
They love roller derby. Find X-Ray FM at 107.1 FM. I listen to them all the time.
Beloved, longtime Heartless Heather superfan Swag is a part-time DJ on that fantastic station.
That is awesome.
Aside from just being a debonair gentleman about town,
Wow.
he has slamming taste in music.
Nobody's perfect. And Wired Eye Repair, your mom's favorite smartphone tablet repair since 2010. Now, is that your mom's favorite?
I was wondering.
I beat you to the punch on that one. Run down there and ask her. Your mom. Is that you?
I like your mom, and
she likes me too.
It's no fad.
And it looks like we're right back at it. Hey, look at that start.
It took a hot minute, but here we are.
There they all bunched up on the pivot line. And Ivana Thrasher not taking any business, any guff from anybody in this one. Trying to find her way through.
Wow, Ivana Thrasher thinking she had found a path on that outside, and Chestnut zooming in just the last minute.
One more.
Oh,
your mom's favorite. Getting a big piece of her and taking her out the outside. Chestnuts in the penalty box.
Fierce wall of Guns N' Rollers blockers working together at the front, doing all they can to keep Filibuster from being able to emerge from that pack. And Ivana Thrasher is your lead jammer, Guns N' Rollers. Automatic Weapon doing a great job of opening up a little hole for Whip It Good. Unfortunately, Whip It Good making her way back in time to drop Filibuster.
Ivana Thrasher powering through the line. Super six-pack putting the brakes on that, and everybody dropping in front of her. Breaks through. Right now, just Chestnuts to get by. Not an easy task.
Whip It, Henri, and On a Roll doing a great job of holding down that fort.
Chestnuts picking up another penalty on her way to the box.
You know, there's no free bowl of soup with those penalties. And a meowing cat can't catch mice. So we gotta, hunker down.
Oi, Vadsmere.
Ivana Thrasher picking up another 5 points for the Guns N' Rollers.
GNR closing up the gap in this last 14 minutes of play.
You know, we saw a bit of a pileup in the Pabst Blue Ribbon penalty box about 10 minutes ago. And we've seen some mostly clean gameplay since. We are dealing with the diminished lineup of the Breakneck Betties, but normally at this point in the game is when you really start to see just a revolving door of the penalty box. So hopefully we've been able to rein it in, and we've done enough training this season to keep that from happening again.
Reign of Rage on the line for GNR.
Yes, it did indeed look like that was a track cut call against Ivy Cardiac. Whether she realized it or not, she did step in advance of her own blockers, thereby advancing her position on the track.
Reign of Rage breaking out and taking lead jammer.
Not if Cheska Chestnuts can do anything about it, but
stays on the track.
Wow.
Harajuku girl giving it to Northern Lights Out, and Northern Lights Out on her way to the penalty box. So speaking of penalty trouble, right now it looks to be the Breakneck Betties having the harder day.
I'm sorry about, I hope I didn't jinx anybody.
No,
I mean,
look at Raina Rage stays on the track.
Oh, almost.
And picks up a cut. Oh, never mind. From where I am, I can't see her feet, so I had no clue.
We only have so many eyes. Again, one of the reasons why being a referee is such a thankless task, but we do need that many of them down there.
And Ivy Cardi Attack trying to break through, picks up a forearm, and she's on her way to the penalty box.
Ripley is such an amazing blocker for the Breakneck Betties, not just because of the physical impact she has on her opponents, but she's such a calm communicator, always checking in with her teammates, always articulating where the threats are coming from, where the jammers are. She was a pleasure to skate with, a nightmare to skate against, and nothing but joy to watch.
Right now, the nightmare is all
Raina Rage
being had by Raina Rage because of Ripley. It's a little bit it's frustrating even to watch her just not be able to get off of her.
I think those Colorado raised ladies, they've got bigger lung capacity.
The cut, no, it wasn't. I couldn't tell what was going on. Yes,
no, I think it was indeed.
The cut was forced by Ripley onto Raina Rage, and she will start this next jam in the box with Juvie Hall.
Well, this is an interesting situation, at least, for GNR to find themselves in, because I think that they both have the same amount of penalty time to serve. So that gives both the pivot and jammer 30 seconds to kind of regroup and stay focused.
Take a deep breath.
Emerge onto the track with some energy to do what they need to do.
Through unopposed.
Like she do.
Push Latush in to confuse things.
Sometimes just the suggestion of a hit is enough from Push Latush.
And coming back around. Liquor and Split directing everyone, just go attack them, run them forward so I can break through.
Now, on that approach, I really admire GNR's intentions to establish a slow-moving, if not stopped wall to meet a force like Liquor and Split. Why I think it backfired is because they were already almost 10 feet out from the Breakneck Betties. So not only does that become dangerous as to whether or not they'll even be able to engage when the jammer's received, it allowed for a good amount of foot speed to be gained by the Breakneck Betties to come in really fast and hard, crash in with some devastating just in time for Liquor to make there. So maybe a more effective approach would have been if they had sort of set up shop closer, if not back, at least closer to the Betties, not really give them any wiggle room to work with.
Speaking of wiggle room, start a ruckus on the track for your Breakneck Betties.
Kido Kabam wearing the star yet again for the Guns N' Rollers tonight.
Whip it, unable to slow her down at the front end. Ripley taking Kido Kabam to the very back of the pack.
You know, and a lot of times with these really fast jammers,
holy mackerel,
if the blockers don't see her coming quick enough, they just have nowhere near enough time to set up in anticipation of it.
And around the outside, start a ruckus. Whip it to the penalty box.
Looks like Kido Kabam was trying to touch base with her pivot that last round, but she was in fact reabsorbed. Northern Lights Out anticipating what was happening, and she just said, I don't think so.
And the pass is successful this time, although everybody's down. And out.
Oof. Northern Lights Out.
Another really just aware skater. She has super track awareness.
Absolutely. And another one, too, where, you know, the impact of her hit never comes at the expense of her positioning on the track. She is so controlled. I like to call that, like, precision hits.
Well, and an unpredictable hit as well. She's you wouldn't from looking at the size of her compared to a lot of the other skaters in the track, think that she's going to just muscle you out.
You said it,
You're
muscle.
just going to disappear.
It's so true. But that's the thing with a lot of these skaters that might look of more slight stature. The way they train, they are still so solid.
And we'd like to thank, speaking of solid, the best modern cinema, independent art, and classic films to Portland's movie lovers coming from the Laurelhurst Theater and Pub.
I love that place.
I do too.
My first visit to Portland, I went there. And I'm not going to say it's the only reason I moved here, but it had a lot to do with it. I like movies. Don't make that face at me.
Me too.
They can't see that face at home.
No.
It's
I'm
for
glad
the
that I can't stop with the mugging. All right. So Secret Aardvark, Viva la Aardvark, that stuff's pretty good. You know, they make that right here in Portland, Oregon.
I love that stuff.
And Echo Construction, friendly people at Echo Construction love custom home building remodels and roller derby. That's Echo Construction. Do you have some sponsor reads?
I do, because we could not do what we do without the sponsors. So really, we want to thank all of you, and we want to remind you that whereas this weekend comprises the championship weekend of the home team season,
nothing.
We are only getting warmed up, everybody. So if you like what you hear, if you like what you see, do what you can to help support the Rose City Rollers. If you're a small business that would like to get involved, if you are a viewer at home that wants to come down and see games, we have so many more months of amazing roller derby action ahead of us with the Wheels of Justice gearing up to take this season by storm.
Speaking of all year round, it's Ivana Thrasher back on the track taking lead jammer right off the line. And she'll be up against Automatic Weapon, who is currently eating the baby.
She is just toying with Thrasher to get her reabsorbed. You know what I have to say? That is the first time I have seen that strategy work.
That's the second time I saw it work once in Junior Derby. That's it. Other than that, people just stand around and don't know what to do.
Well, proof that some of the best strategy in roller derby is coming out of Junior Derby.
Absolutely.
Because the only thing that makes them different is that their bones are still hollow and they can't drive.
They're made out of rubber bands.
But those young skaters are so smart, and they really are the future of roller derby.
Automatic Weapon powering through the line right now with one more to get by.
Betty's blocker is going to have no problem letting Autumn go it alone. She is fully capable of racking up those points without any offense required. Ivana Thrasher looking to take flight with that jam call off. We still do have 6.5 minutes on the scoreboard. I would like to give a special thanks to the Portland Mercury, Portland Vital Signs, City Graphics, as well as Kay's Bars. Thank you so much for sponsoring the Rose City Rollers.
Big Brothers Big Sisters, RCR is proud to be Sports Buddies partners, encouraging young people to get active. We're in a team timeout. Breakneck Betties.
I think this may be the first time out they've taken this game.
In fact, it is.
Could be mistaken.
I'm looking at the thing.
We got the blinking dots telling us so.
I'm looking at the thing. OHSU Sports Medicine is proud to be the official medical care team for the Rose City Rollers.
Racing out onto the track to join her fellow blockers is Liquor and Split. Liquor and Split is one of a few of Rose City Rollers sponsors, sponsored proudly by Adam Wheels. Adam Wheels also sponsor the Breakneck Betties. So if you like the way Liquor skates, you should talk to her about it. She would love to talk to you about Adam's products.
Pork now.
Pork, yes.
Amazing tacos with 2 locations on Mississippi and the Hawthorne. So GNR lining up on the outside, giving. Well, now they changed their mind.
It was like a.
Let's try this.
A squashing sausage.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
Kabam now up against pretty much everybody from the Betty's line.
Juvie Hall creeping up the outside and trying to scoop all those Breakneck Betties in. And you know what? Sometimes scrambling things up is all you need to do. Making those holes for those smart jammers. Keto Kabam is out as lead jammer.
Just enough. It was perfect. And right back against it. Keto Kabam on the outside. Harajuku girl holding the outside line. Nobody saw it coming.
Well, and this is a great opportunity, though. Wow, this is a great opportunity for Keto Kabam because not only did she have more than a full pack advantage to keep scoring points against Automatic Weapon, she now finds herself back into a power jam scenario. GNR Blocker is doing a great job of trying to communicate to her where the holes are, where they're coming from. Yet again, Juvie Hall scooping around the outside,
Scraping
doing exactly
off
what
two.
she did. Like she do.
And Keto Kabam through for another 5. Starting to even up the score in the last 5 minutes of the game. It's Guns N' Rollers.
Makes me real happy to see Guns N' Rollers breaking 100 in this jam. Everyone deserves the century mark. They are working their booties off out there, leaving nothing behind on the track. Again, this will be the teams as you see them last time to play this evening. They are leaving nothing behind. And if you've been enjoying what you've been watching this evening, let us remind you that tomorrow night will be the battle for first place, seeing the High Rollers face off against the Heartless Heathers.
Even more.
And you know, it's great stuff because the High Rollers are coming into tomorrow night's game. They are undefeated currently for the season. But what really excites me about their performance this season is in comparison to their performance last season. Last season was a complete rebuilding season for the High Rollers.
They had a tough time.
If memory serves, they did not win a game last year. But you know what?
I don't like to talk trash about people.
It's not trash. Facts are facts. It's not trash. Facts are facts. And what's amazing is when you can have such great coming up stories. So no team should be counted as down and out for very long, because when you go back to the drawing board, when you work on nurturing, development, fostering love and respect for each other, not worrying what the score says, just worrying about your own growth, then you really see that payoff. And that's something that I'm looking forward to seeing from pretty much all the teams coming back from next season, as we will see a good deal of retirements coming up.
You know what else?
What?
Pays off?
Tell me. Sponsors?
The magic that's in the hole. Proud sponsor of Rose City Rollers. That's Voodoo Donuts.
And that's the magic. And Raina Rage must be eating her Voodoo Donuts because she is out as lead jammer.
And who is that jamming?
Sweet Jane.
It's Sweet Jane.
I really enjoy watching her skate. I'm
Yeah.
really going to love seeing just how much better she gets as everything progresses.
Dig into the out right there. And whistles like crazy. Made her mad, flailing his arms in the air, going crazy nuts crazy, screaming about something. Mikey Wade
Well, I have
walking
a feeling,
out onto the track.
I mean, I see why he's a little worked up.
Got a
If
little,
Raina had been flapping anymore, she would have taken flight. It looked like her jammer ref was looking right at her. It looked like we could all see it from outer space. I think that he was a little upset that it was not called off sooner.
Yep, I have a feeling that's what it was, and now everyone's probably going to be talking about it. Nope. Well, we've got to.
We have.
I don't know. There's people pointing their arms everywhere. This guy's pointing at that bench, and this guy's pointing at that bench.
And pointing is just rude in general, so let's ring it in, everybody.
Yes, thank you, Grandma. Okay. Speaking of, I'm going to point to some of our sponsors.
Good idea.
Cars to Go. Meet the future of car sharing. Sign up today at carstogo.com.
It's a good time to also thank Bike Punk.
Oh,
Bike Punk
yeah.
is locally printed, eco-friendly stickers, signs, and design. Visit bikepunk.com.
I have noticed that the kids in Portland love their stickers. PDX Pipeline, your online source for Portland's art, music, events, happenings. That's PDX Pipeline. And we're back at it. Juvie Hall on the line for GNR. That's the Guns N' Rollers.
There is a lot of anticipation going into this jam. Sometimes suspense is worse than the ordeal itself, as my grandmother used to say.
She is up against Super Six-Pack, who is right now around the outside with one more to get by.
That was some great offensive blocking coming from Liquor, just setting a pick off that outside, allowing Super Six-Pack to race around and score those points, and then quickly turning your attention again to defense.
Juvie Hall breaking out, and she is now on her scoring pass. Who is that? Liquor and Split has gone to the penalty box. Juvie around the outside.
Wow, those were some... Did she
stays on the track at the whistle line?
Okay, referees are checking with each other to see exactly how many points may have been gained.
What? How? 4.
Again, better be safe than sorry. I like to see referees realizing that, you know, extra sets of eyes are helpful.
Yeah,
They want to make sure that all the points are delegated accordingly. They're working hard for those points. We want to give them to them.
Mikey Wade out on the track waving somebody off.
Mikey Wade doing a little bit of a like caught fish dance moves with Henri O'Hooligan.
And that's Raina Rage breaking out for GNR, taking lead jammer.
And it is interesting to see how the rules have changed ever so subtly, because it looked to me like she gave herself a little self-assist off of Chevelle. Just a
little bit.
She's allowed to. You can touch an opposing player for kind of like just for a couple seconds. For a couple seconds. It
hasn't done her much good. Right now she's still hung up in the back of the pack. Automatic weapon. And she calls that one off.
Starter Ruckus made a way around really fast, cutting up that inside, shortest distance around the track. Basic physics. Get your points. How's 3 of them?
It's geometry.
Huh? Geometry?
I don't know. I sucked at math. I still do.
They're all connected.
It's harder to. I don't know.
Well, you're artistic.
Yeah,
and
that's
pretty,
what I can do.
So.
Yeah. And they're off right again. Keto Kabam up for Guns N' Rollers.
Sweet Jane finding an answer on the outside.
Holy mackerel.
Not before being leveled by Ivana Thrasher and
And on her way to the penalty box for a forearm.
Yep. That was a great hit by Thrasher.
Breakneck Betty's looking for a power jam kill right here. Chestnuts. Ivana Thrasher just clearing the path out there by standing in the way, but
we are coming into the dying minutes of this roller derby bout. We have 32 seconds left in this. On the regular period clock, this jam could go another full minute and 10 seconds.
Keto Kabam having a tough time getting away from this group. It's Ripley, Much, and Chestnuts absolutely just staying ahead of her, recycling to the front every time she gets past them.
On a Roll emerged from the penalty box behind Sweet Jane, but did a great job of racing up, trying to protect her point and do a little bit of reabsorption in the process.
And we've got a helmet cover pass from GNR. It has gone to Honor Roll, who is now trying to power her way through that line. Right now she's dealing with that same lineup that Keto was dealing with. And absolutely, that is a rough one.
This jam could end in a power jam for GNR. That is currently what we have going on. We have 21 seconds left in this game.
Right now on a roll up front with just the 2 more to get by. Unfortunately, those 2 are Chestnuts and Ripley, who are dragging her to the back of the pack. Whoa! And she's sharp as a tack. Notice that was no good.
Smart cookie there,
Took the
that
run.
one.
That was amazing. Quick footwork. I don't know how she saw that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of that. Final score, we'll tell you in just a moment once they've told us.
Be sure to stick around once our mics have been cut off, because we will take it down to the floor with Dolomite and Mistress Mouth. We will find out from each team who they have selected for both their MVP blockers and MVP jammers for this, the 3rd and 4th place games of the Rose City Rollers.
Final score, Breakneck Betties, 328, Guns N' Rollers 118. Betties take 3rd place for the season. And that's that. We're going to throw it down to the floor. I'm Magic Pony Power Hour.
I'm Layla Smackdown.
Sister, it's been a pleasure.
Let's do this again.
I'd love to.
Yay.
All right, ladies. Who is your MVP blocker?
Northern Lights Out.
All right, Northern Lights Out, come get your MVP award. And who do we have for MVP Jammer?
Liquor and Split.
All right.
Those are the greatest awards I have ever seen.
Okay, so MVP blocker.
Our MVP blocker tonight is on a roll.
On a roll, the MVP blocker, and now the MVP for Jammer
Is Juvie Hall.
Juvie Hall. Let's get out of the way for some pictures. These are your MVPs.